What lie do people need to stop believing? It'll be easier if I get gas in the morning on the way to work. Lies. Lamau, that and just the whole phenomenon of people having a really common, no-brainer idea and then being shocked when other people had it too. If I get lunch 30 minutes early, I'll beat the lunch rush. Meanwhile, 300 other people had the same idea and you are now stuck in the lunch rush. A few years ago, the first division lotto win in New Zealand was shared between 40 people. That number of winners was unheard of, and each person got such a small share of the $1 million prize. The people in the second division, who got one number wrong, actually walked away with more money. The winning numbers were 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. 40 people chose an easy-to-remember sequence of numbers thinking they had just as much chance of winning with them as any other sequence. And they were right. It just didn't occur to them that 39 other people had the same thought. Since many people play calendar dates, picking numbers above 31 decreases the likelihood of having to share the prize. Since mathematicians don't play the lottery, I only pick prime numbers. You mean like 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, which would have put you in the one number off group from You Fly Hard's post. Mathematicians would have started at 2. Getting a raise that puts you into the next tax bracket does not mean all your income is taxed at the higher rate, only the small piece over the threshold. I have argued with people so much over this. Just write it off. I try to explain it, but nobody depreciates my effort. Tier here to open. See also, resealable. See also, flushable. Don't worry guys, these are flushable golf balls. That mama birds won't take their babies back after humans touch them. Put that baby back, edit, I didn't expect that to take off, lol. But, yes, there are many types of birds that will end up on the floor either way, but you might end up saving one bird that gets to stay. For my fellow people-pleasing doormats, stop believing that other people are fragile and can't handle you being truthful or being yourself. Stop believing that you're a bad person for trying to get your needs met. Stop believing that if you do everything right and never speak up or get out of line, that you'll have a problem-free life and everyone will love you. This advice is mostly relevant to the people who chronically neglect their own needs and build resentment because of it. Balance is key. Edit, 2 books to check out if this resonated with you. 1. No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert A. Glover, lame title emo, but it was life-changing too. Not nice, stop people-pleasing, staying silent, feeling guilty, and start speaking up, saying no, asking boldly, and unapologetically being yourself. Book by Aziz Ghazipur. Edit 2. Both books I mentioned above helped me so far on my journey. But Not Nice is, I think, a more modern, comprehensive, and inclusive book in general. I'd recommend starting there. I originally had listed the books in order of when I read them. Thank you for the encouraging words and awards, kind strangers. I didn't anticipate this getting as much attention as it did. From another recovering people pleaser, you aren't nice or being kind. You're just afraid. It's okay to be afraid, it's a behavior you learned as a coping mechanism. But make sure it's working for you instead of defining you. Gentle, non-violent honesty is much kinder than just telling people what you think they want to hear. You do not have to wait 24 hours to report someone is missing. Edit, since this is gaining some attention, I just wanted to mention the National Center for Missing Exploited Children. The website has valuable information. If you are at all able to donate, this is one of the charities I personally support. Yes. Those first hours are the most critical in the search for a missing person. Probably just a runaway. And that means they don't need help? You no longer get zits when you get older. Adults know what's going on. I'm 32 and I haven't got a ducking clue. That when you're related to someone, particularly in regards to parents, all things should be forgiven and forgotten. Edit, I am seeing where many people may think that what I commented is what I believe to be true. It is not. The question asked was what is a lie we should stop believing, so I responded with just that. A lie. I wholeheartedly believe that when someone has been or becomes toxic, manipulative, abusive, or hurtful and has no intention of changing bad behaviors or treating you with any decency, that these people should not get to be a part of your life, and that being related does not give someone a free pass to say and do what they want with no repercussions. Everyone should be allowed to feel safe and loved. It is a heartbreaking thing to cut contact with people you should have been able to be safe with, and the decision does not ever come easy. Sometimes, it is a very necessary thing to ensure the safety and security of yourself, your children, or other loved ones. The stories that have been shared in the comments associated with mine are tragic, and no one should have to go through these things, especially not alone. I am truly so very sorry for all those that can relate to what I have said, and how I said it. I hope you all find peace, comfort, and a solid support system. People are trying to guilt-trip my 15-year-old stepdaughter into seeing and forgiving her mom for abusing her and making her do horrible things. Her mom didn't even show up to court to fight for visitation rights. It's always "but she's your mom" to the child instead of "that's your kid, how could you do that to them" to the parent. I've never seen someone phrase it like that, but you're right. That actually sounds like a good comeback. If she's her mom, why would she do X to her? Turn the logic around and hopefully get the other person to think. Unfortunately, you'd be surprised at how dumb people can get and would just fight back even if you turn the logic back at them. We use only 10% of our brain. Like we only use 33% of each traffic light. That's a really good analogy. Never thought of it that way. Never thought of it that way. That's probably because you're still only using 10%. That everyone gets a happy ending. You've got to pay extra for that. Vaccines cause autism. Furthermore, as someone who actually does have autism, the implication that you would rather have your kid die a slow, painful, and completely preventable death than have autism is pretty damn offensive. Yup. I'm autistic, high functioning, so no one ever believes it till they get to know me. Turned out pretty well, definitely better than dead. I was a chef for 20 years, and one of the most incredible cooks I've ever had the pleasure of working with was autistic, and I would probably have never known if he didn't tell me. The only hints were really minor things involving missed social cues, and him being very particular and irritable about his workstation, which isn't really different from most cooks honestly. When I did his interview and hired him, he never mentioned it to me, and I now see it wasn't really my business since it didn't affect his job negatively. It wasn't until a few months of working together that he brought it up. He had been consistently putting out some of the most beautiful plates of food, and I asked him if he had culinary training. He maybe forgot to mention where he learned such meticulous attention to detail. He just laughed and said it was just one of his many hidden autistic abilities. I genuinely thought he was making a joke in poor taste, and he laughed even harder at the confused look I had on my face, because I'm embarrassed to admit that I assumed that autism would be more noticeable or severe. I definitely didn't know as much then as I do now. He also told me that people who push the narrative that vaccines cause autism are just scared or angry that one poke of a needle will just make even one more person much more interesting than they are. As an autistic person, I'm really struck by your comment. I don't think I've ever heard a description of an autistic person from a non-autistic person that feels so clear, kind and honest. You described him as being talented and competent, never infantilized him, and you admitted what you didn't know in a very respectful way. I'm a bit stoned honestly, so I don't really have a point. Just wanted to thank you for what you said. That only 1% can beat that one mobile game. To be fair, the remaining 99% stopped playing after the third level because the game was trash. With this considered, the 1% figure might be true. But not the advertisement they thought it was. That people eat 8 spiders in their sleep over the course of their lifetime. Those are rookie numbers. I eat 8 before lunchtime. Spiders Georg, is that you? That just because a popular celebrity or athlete endorses a product, that means it's worth buying. You're telling me I shouldn't pour all my money into an imaginary currency because Matt Damon said I'd be a loser if I didn't? Fortune favors the bold. Number 14 will shock you. That if only people would switch to reusable straws, bags, rags, stop all single-use items, abide by zero-waste philosophies, we can make an impact. I do all of these things, but am not under the illusion that it will be a significant impact. Nothing much will change if big corporations continue to get away with massive tons of plastic waste, carbon emissions, oil spills, etc. Work in any industry at the lowest level and the amount of waste produced is immense and immeasurable. I work in medical. I'm fairly new to the industry, landing my first job last summer. The number one thing that shocked me was the massive amount of waste. And this was a very small clinic. It was the first time I truly understood that the efforts I make don't even make a dent. The hospital I work at doesn't even recycle. Think about that. Every plastic packaging that every flush, sock pack, 4-bag, literally every packaging of everything that we use doesn't get recycled. AMD, we are part of one of the biggest healthcare systems in my state. Also worked for the VA for a short time, the biggest healthcare system in the world, and I'm pretty sure I only saw a few recycling bins in the hallways, for visitors to use to make them think we recycled.